What is up? What is up? What is up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Keep It Real. And we're going to be talking about Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnastic individual, the Olympic gymnastic gymnastics lady, young lady. But before we get started, please keep in mind that everything that we discuss is alleged and solely and strictly for entertainment purposes, and it can be educational as well, very informative. So let me go on and start y'all off with this little introduction while I give people time to check in, check in, check in. Okay, guys. So I am back. I just wanted to y'all like playing a little introduction. I don't know why. But what is up? What is up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a good day so far. I hope your day is blessed as well. But y'all, I've been wanting to get on here and talk about Simone Biles and her husband. Yeah, you know, they young. They're I would guess you could still say they're in the newlywed phase or stage. And you know, so he done took to social media talking about, you know, he's the catch. And I was just like, when I heard that, I said, you know, I don't see a confident man. I see an arrogant man, you know, and I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't know what she saw in this young man for her to, you know, he proposed to her, so he knows she's the prize. But I was just like, I don't get where he is coming from. I don't understand why he even felt the need to say what he said in that interview. But I'm just gonna give you a little background about Simone Biles before we get started talking about her husband, which I ain't never heard of. They said he's a football player, you know, and I've never heard of him, and a lot of people have never heard of him. But just a little background about Simone Biles, and this is from Wikipedia. She is an American artistic gymnast, the most decorated gymnast in history. Great, great. She is widely considered the greatest gymnast of all time. Her 7 Olympic gymnastics medals are ninth most of the time, our ninth most of the time, and tied with Shannon Miller for the most by U.S. gymnasts. And it goes on to talk about in 2016, Simone Biles participated in the Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, and she won individual gold medals in the all-around vault, floor, bronze, and balance beams. Now, I don't know much about gymnastics and everything, you know, but I have watched it a few times. And, you know, she has a bunch of, you know, things to her credit. But, you know, like I said, what we notice her mostly by is her, you know, winning the medals and stuff when she participated in the Olympics. So just a little background about her life and her education. She was born March 14th, 1997 in Columbus, Ohio, the third of 4 siblings. Her birth mother, Shannon Biles, was unable to care for Simone and her other children. All 4 went in and out of foster care. So Simone grew up in the foster care system, which I did not know as well. In 2000, Biles' maternal grandfather, Ron Biles, and his second wife, Nellie Biles, began caring temporarily for Shannon's children in the North Houston suburb of Spring, Texas. After learning his grandchildren were in foster care in 2003, the couple formally adopted Simone and her younger sister, Adrian, Ron's sister. Shannon's Aunt Harriet adopted the oldest 2 children. Okay, so they did stay with the family, which is a really great thing. She holds Belizean citizenship through her adoptive mother and considers Belize to be her second home. Biles and her family are Catholic. Okay, so it just gives a little bit more background information about, you know, where she went to school at and everything. And I'm not going to read all of it because it's a lot. But what I wanted to get on her and talk about was her husband and what he said. So I'm just going to play a couple of video clips and, you know, let y'all kind of, you know, just hear what he thinks and how he thinks. And just let me know what you think about all of this.
Was it on a dating app?
So before I started dating my boyfriend, he didn't know who I was.
Was it on Raya?
Yes, it actually was. No, we don't have to talk about it. It's fine. He's competitive at games and in life in general, but I'm not. But whenever I beat him, I make it known that I beat him.
Ready, set, go! you about 3/4 of the way. I burnt out. As a couple, we're very competitive. Let's get the games rolling.
So, okay, y'all saw the video and everything, and Simone was saying that he said he didn't know who she was and everything. How in the world could you not know Simone Biles? Okay, I'm not even into gymnastics or anything, and I knew who Simone Biles was because she was, put on the TV screens everywhere, internet everywhere, social media sites, all of that. She was widely known. So her now husband, then boyfriend, which I found out, like I said, that he is a football player, and I've never heard of him, so he's not one of the top 10. So how in the world did he not know? But the question is, why did he say what he said about she's the catch? What possessed him to say that? There's nothing wrong with being confident, but honey, this girl, she's got too many accomplishments in her life for him to sit there and say something like that. And when I say accomplishments, her as an individual, she seems very grounded, down to earth, proud of who she is and proud of where she's come from. And she doesn't give off this air of arrogance. So why would he feel the need to be arrogant and said that he's the prize when he was in a recent interview and he was asked this, I guess I'm not going to say he was asked the question, but he basically put it out there that he was the prize. So let me play this little clip. Let me make sure I pull up the right one. This little clip where he talks about when he met her and everything, when he said that he looks at himself as the prize. Chat, please.
Simone Biles' husband is a walking red flag.
I always say the men that catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did, though.
Is what you're saying.
Because I was fighting it.
This man got into a relationship with Simone Biles, and he's acting like she's the one who should be lucky.
How in the hell did you pull Simone Biles? How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's really how she pulled me, man. That's the question. He pops up, and I'm like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so I didn't know who she was at the time, but like the first thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she got to be good. I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and
I just don't believe that he didn't know who Simone Biles was. Think that he has a little bit of jealousy towards his wife. Listen to this.
It was all these moms, and they're there with their kids, and we walked past, and everybody stopped, and just kids are like shaking, and it's like, oh my God, and I'm like,
You thought it's because you thought you were fine, huh?
man, nah. It's just funny. They asking me, they like, here, can you take this picture? And I'm like,
He centered so much of their love story around the fact that she chased him.
because if she wouldn't have messaged me, chances are, like, I probably wouldn't have. I probably was just, mine would have went somewhere else and wouldn't have thought to, but she messaged me, and
We've all been here where we're all just googly eyes for, a mediocre man who doesn't actually see us as a person. And it's so easy to just be like, oh my goodness, he can do no wrong, and make a lot of excuses. Kind of look at that type of talk as funny or endearing. He was low-key dissing her multiple times in this interview. And men do this all the time. If you read between the lines of this podcast interview, it's just actually sad more than anything. Also, he made her drive to see him. This is crazy to me, because if a guy actually wants to see you, he's going to go the distance to see you. I went on a date with a guy that drove 2 hours. 2 hours. It was a 4-hour round trip to go on a first date with me, a coffee date. I have no judgment towards Simone at all. I think that this is just very common in a lot of relationships. It's just insane that a man that is married to Simone Biles would talk like that. The enthusiasm was not there. People have way more enthusiasm for talking about their pets than he did talking about his wife. And I'll say it, I listened to the podcast and I really loved his story. He was very vulnerable. He seems like a good guy, but I am just so bothered by the way that he's talked about Simone in this. There are so many men who are okay with their baseline of happiness just being so low. So they'll stay in relationships with people that they don't actually like that much. And I think a lot of men just aren't happy, and instead of, being honest with that with their partner, they're just mean. I don't doubt for a second that he loves her. I do wonder, how much does he like her, Simone as a person? I just wish that he would talk about that more. I'm also just tired of men being so unenthusiastic about the person that they're with. I'm like, if you don't feel excited and happy to tell people about your partner or your relationship, when you love someone or even just something, when you talk about it, you're able to like feel it from the other person. It's just like, oh my goodness, this person loves that thing, and you know it for sure. And you don't have to question it at all. But this man is making us all question, does he even like her? And that means that his enthusiasm to be with Simone Biles is too low. Anyways, if I'm ever in a relationship with a man who has any sort of tone close to this when talking about me or our relationship.
Okay, so that was enough of that part. But so what do y'all think? Do y'all think that he's just being a little bit too cocky? Because again, this is a very young marriage, and they both have a lot to learn. They have a lot to learn about each other and themselves in the process. So those are two things that'll be working that they're going to have to work through. They're going to have to get to know themselves as individuals, and then they're going to have to get to know themselves as a couple, And do I think that he was ready for the relationship? No, not really. Because the way he's talking, he's still thinking in that me mode, And he reminds me of the kind of man that is making sure he protects himself. He's not allowing himself to get caught up in the relationship, the marriage, as he should. Both people should be vulnerable, meaning because I'm vulnerable in this relationship because I can trust you, and you're vulnerable in this relationship because you can trust me. That's how marriage goes. It's not one side. It's not, well, it's all about me. And, I'm looking at the fact that I'm this prize. I'm the one that she should be happy with. Well, you know what? To be honest, both of them should be prizes. And that's what he failed to mention he failed to look at the fact that, no, I look at both of us as prizes, and we bring things together to the table. But like I said, he's still young, and he's not going to think like that. But I will say he's going to have to change it up, that thinking, real soon and real quick, because he can't help with to be who he is, meaning this is how he is on an everyday basis. And they're going to begin to crash at some point within that marriage, to the point where they're going to need to get some kind of counseling. I would suggest that they get some counseling now, because this boy, young man or whatever, he's self-centered. He's very self-centered, and this could turn out very ugly in later on down the line. Simone, she seems like a very strong young lady, ambitious, successful. And when you're strong, ambitious, and successful, it can go either two ways in a relationship. It can either go to the point where she's gonna be like, you know what, I done gave it some time and some thought. I've tried to work it out, and it's not gonna work out because you're not gonna change. You're not gonna see my self-worth. You just continue to see your self-worth. Or it could go another way, where she starts to begin to believe everything that he's saying, and because trust and believe, if he's talking like that to other people, he's talking like that in the house behind closed doors. Okay. And she could start believing that she's not worthy, that she's not a prize, that she's not this successful individual. So you got to be careful, like the girl in the video said, about dealing with those types of men. You know what I'm saying? They come in all shapes, forms, sizes, and colors, honey. They ain't got to be no certain nationality, honey. They come in all shapes and sizes, i.e. Tamar's fiance, honey. I said, Tamar, child, she is in a road for a zoo, because he getting ready to clown her throughout this relationship. And if they get married, it's just going to be it's just going to be a circus, a 3-ring circus. But getting back to Simone Biles, I talk about Tamar. I might do a video about her later, y'all, because that's a whole nother mess or something. But Simone Biles, like I said, guys, this man, he already thinks that he's the be all, the end all, and he's put that in his head, and ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you are in a marriage now, honey, so it should be equal. It should be to the point where y'all are loving on each other and you're building each other up. Not, oh, I'm this and I'm that and I'm the prize. And as soon as I heard that, I said, oh goodness. I said, she had to have known that when she got with him. She's heard him talk like that before. So I can't really put him down per se and be like, oh, he's wrong for doing it. I can't even say that, because she knew that going in the door when she got with him. When a person shows you who they are in the beginning, trust and believe. Please believe him, because they're not faking. At least he ain't faking the funk. He's just showing who he is, accept it or not. And most women would not accept that. But, he's supposed to be some football player and everything, but I've never heard of him. He's not one of those aliens A-list football players. And I wouldn't have known that he did play football if it wasn't for me hearing it on this video right here.
You know who Simone Biles' husband is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Everything that we put up here is fair use, fair use.
You know who Simone Biles' husband is?
He's an athlete.
What's his name?
I forgot.
What do he play for?
Football.
No, who does he play for?
I want to say Arizona. Not Dallas. Who?
Plays for Green Bay, I believe.
Green Bay? Cornerback?
I don't know.
I think so, because he's not a real big.
Well, you know what this man said? He said he didn't know who Simone Biles was.
Oh, yeah, that's the same thing Serena's husband said. Yeah, okay.
So y'all heard this nonsense. He gonna say he didn't even know who she was. So I'm pulling up some information on him, and his name is Jonathan Owens. Honey, I didn't even know that. He's married to, of course, to Simone Biles. Excuse me. And I guess they went to what's that, Cabo St. Lucas? Yeah, Cabo St. Lucas. But yeah, he is an NFL player, and his name is Jonathan Owens. Yeah, again, this is the first time I've ever heard of him a day in my life, okay? But we've all heard of Simone Biles across the internet waves everywhere. So for him to say he didn't know who she was, allegedly, when he met her, I think she said something about she sent him a message in his DM because she liked the way he looked, and he didn't know who she was. He just saw that she had a bunch of followers, and he still didn't know who she was. You got to watch out for them kind of men, honey. Okay, he trying to build himself a name in the NFL, and like I said, a lot of people don't even know who he is. So yeah, you got to watch men like it. And like I said, they're going to need some kind of marital counseling at some point, because child, he is full of himself. He is all into himself. And again, there is nothing wrong with being full of yourself and into yourself, but when you are in a marriage relationship, whatever the case, it is equal. You look out for me, I look out for you. I got your back, you got my back. And honey, the way this man talking, this young man, I can't call him a man, y'all. He's a young man to me because I'm much older. So I'm just gonna say this young man. And the way this young man is talking, child, he ain't there. He is not there yet. Simone Biles' husband. He's not there yet. I don't forgot his name already. So again, that just goes to show how much he is not relevant to the, and only reason I'm saying this is because the way he got on here and talked about him being a prize, like I said, I'm not taking none away from him, but honey, you is in a relationship now, I'm just kind of curious as to his background, I'm kind of curious as to how he grew up and all of that. And, who was his mentors, or, the people that he listened to or followed and everything. I'm just kind of curious as to those types of things. But I'm looking at some stats on him. It ain't that much on Wikipedia. And he plays for Green Bay Packers. Jonathan James Owen, born July 22nd, 1995, is an American football strong safety for Green Bay Packers of the National Football League, NFL. And he played college at Missouri Western. Child, have we ever heard of Missouri Western? No. And he signed with Arizona Cardinals. I'm familiar with the Cardinals. And as an undrafted free agent, which means they didn't want him no more, he also played for the Houston Texans. So right now he's playing for Green Bay Packers, and he's been in and out of different teams. And from my knowledge, I'm not a football enthusiast. I've watched football, and I enjoy it from time to time when I watch it and everything. But from my knowledge, when you get to go trading to different teams and carrying on, you soon is on your way out the door. That's all I'm gonna say. You soon on your way out the door when in the football world, because you done this is his third team, I believe, according to Wikipedia and everything. So his career may not be that long. So he wasn't no fool when he proposed to Simone Biles. He knew what he was doing, and quit playing it off like his girl ain't nothing and ain't nobody, and that you just be all or end all, and that you got it over on her. You pulling the wool over her eyes. You might be pulling it on over her eyes, but you ain't pulling it over on our eyes. And it says that they got they announced their engagement in February 15, 2022, and they married April 22nd, 2023. Okay, so they had a nice little courtship and everything. But like I said, I hope I don't wish anybody's marriage breaks up, but I do definitely believe that they need some counseling, and at some point, because he has got to break whatever cycle that he's following from, because he didn't didn't make up these notions in his head. He's heard somebody say these things. He may have even been raised around it allegedly, but he's got to break that cycle and understand that, honey, it's not just about you anymore. Yeah, he is child. He is Denise. He is really stuck on some foolishness. And like I said, they gonna have to break that. He gonna have to break that cycle, that way of thinking, because that reminds us of so many other men out here that we done talked about a many a days in these YouTube streets. It's just crazy to me and how many of these young men or men think like this. It just baffles me as to a lot of these individuals that think like this. It's like, oh my goodness, I promise you, I did not know. I've seen men like that. I've been around men like that. I'm a very strong individual, so those type of people wouldn't work in my area. I couldn't even be cool with somebody like that here, because I'm the dominator. When it comes to being around somebody that's egotistic like that, I'm gonna shut you down and I'm gonna hurt your feelings and I'm gonna let you know, no, you're not, honey. No, you are not. And this is the reason why A, B, C, D, and E. That's just it's just how I do. When a person acts like that, child, I'm gonna make them mad. I'm gonna make them mad and point out the reason why you're not. Okay. But Simone Biles, she looks like she's a sweet girl, and she ain't gonna be for none of that type of stuff. She just wants some love and peace and to be happy with her husband. And I'm not saying that he don't love this girl. I'm not saying that. I ain't saying he don't love this girl, but honey, he got too much self-esteem, a little too much self-esteem going in the door, to be acting like this. I'm gonna need for you to humble yourself, honey, and come down to reality and realize that y'all are both to be loved and, respected and looked at as a prize. Y'all compliment each other, not, she compliments, not you make her look better. You see what I'm saying? And that's that's the energy that he's giving out to me. Like he's the best prize. He's the be all to end all with being Simone Biles. And they both admitted that they're both competitive as well. So those are good traits. So hopefully those types of things, good traits, in that they're, enjoying each other and they're having fun while they're doing it. If it was competitive, I knew this one couple, y'all, they were so competitive that when the husband went and got him a car, child, the wife went and got her a car too. And I was like, exactly what I canceled. The marriage won't last. He is too haughty. Yeah, exactly. I knew this one couple, like I was saying, that, they were so competitive that when the husband went and got him a new vehicle, the wife turned around and got her a new vehicle. And he said it, he was like, she's always competing against me. And I was like, is that what's this? I said, is that what's going on? You can't be in no relationship and let alone a marriage where you're competing with each other. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get that. When you may get something, a brand new car, or get something that makes them happy and they're excited about, congratulate them, support them, be happy for them. Don't be trying to compete and trying to up one on them. That's not how any of this works. That's why it's so many failed relationships. That's why men think that women, men think that women, they can't be in a relationship with a woman. No, it's because, both parties have to realize and understand that it's equal in a relationship, and especially a marriage is equal. You ain't better than her and she ain't better than you. Y'all equal, y'all together. Y'all should have each other's back. Usually when kids, biological parents don't love them, they take any kind of love to get it. That's a great point, Jess Fana. That is a great point. I didn't think of that. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, because I'm like, this young lady seems so confident. It just was puzzling to me and baffled me as to why would she even be with a man like that? That makes sense. That makes total sense. I didn't even see that. I'm glad you hit the nail on the head. The fact that her mama didn't raise her, and then her siblings went into the foster care off and on, and then her grandfather and her step grandmother raised her and her other sibling. Then her other siblings went with another family member. That definitely does impact how she views herself deep down inside. So, obviously there's some things going on with her that hasn't been healed. So that's the reason why she thinks that this is love. But, in due time, she'll find out. And I just hope that, again, he's young, so I can't even say that that's going to be a possibility without counseling. Like Denise was saying, with him being so young, they definitely going to need some counseling to work through some issues that both of them could be having, because we all come with baggage at some point in life. That it is just what it is. We can't stop that. Life experiences cause us to have baggage. So these are things that has to be worked through in order to be able to be successful in a relationship. We can be successful in life all we we want, because guess what? We can put on that face. We can put that face on and go out there to the world and show them the face that we want them to see, that we want them to see of us at that point in time. You see what I'm saying? But when you in a relationship, honey, everything is vulnerable. You are vulnerable in your relationship, as you should be, because you want to go in, well, he's not. You should be vulnerable. She's too vulnerable in the relationship, because I'm glad you pointed that out, Jess Vanna, that, her not having a biological mother raising her and, putting them in a foster care, that, foster care, from what I've heard, it can be very traumatic. So that could be, and most likely, allegedly, one of the main issues or reasons why she thought that this man was showing her love. As he said, she went after him, and she said that she inboxed him and she liked the way he looked. And child, what she do that for? Because then after that, he ran with it, and he been running with it ever since. I mean, he is married to Simone Biles. Is he? Exactly. So I was like, I'm like, this girl has too many accomplishments under her belt for him to say, number one, he didn't know who she was, and even when fans was coming up to her and saying stuff, he still didn't know. And then, then what did he say? That he's the prize. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't like that. I don't dislike the young man. I just believe that he needs to reflect and have some work to work on himself about. And again, you don't have to go to counseling. You don't have to be in turmoil to go to counseling. You can go to counseling just because you want to make sure y'all on the right path. You want to make sure y'all goals align with each other. You want to have a third person in there that's neutral, that can help you sort through things. Because again, counseling is about what you already know deep down within inside of you. You're just needing somebody else to help pull it out of you. So you're really answering your own questions in counseling. You're just getting that third party in there to be neutral, not take sides, and to help pull out what you already know, the answers to what you already know, or where you want to go in life, or what it is you want to do. Sometimes people need that guidance. So you can get a life coach or whatever the case may be. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure she's had life coaches. I'm sure she has, because again, look at where she's at now. She, in spite of everything that happened to her, she was able to go out there and do what she needed to do. And like I said, people can put that face on. They can put that face on. Trust and believe they're vulnerable still at some point, considering her background. It has to affect you. You're one strong person if it didn't affect you. But in reality, we know that life experiences affect each and every one of us. And, we all bring baggage to a new relationship. And those are things that we just have to work out and work through. But all in all, I wish them the best, because like I said, I don't want any marriage to break up, but I do want them to work on each other. And I hope that message finds him some way, shape, form, or fashion through someone else. Work on yourself and begin to see that it's not about you, sweetheart. It's about you all together as a family unit. I believe that he might have seen himself as the star in all his previous reactions, and this is probably problematic for him. Exactly. He's sharing that spotlight, and child, he don't know what to do. Women, I ain't gonna say women, chicken heads is gonna be on a man when they see him making a little change and carrying on a little change or something. They're gonna be all over him. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be all over him. So he was used to having all that attention on him, and women, how some of these chicken heads, and I'm saying chicken heads because these are women who don't value themselves. So I'm just using the term chicken head. So, how some of those type of individuals, they'll do whatever they need to do to get that man's attention. And so, men who ain't used to that kind of attention, and all of a sudden I got groupies and stuff coming from left and right trying to holler at me. And then, so he got that mentality already built up in his head, although we ain't never heard of him. Green Bay, I ain't never heard of him on Green Bay, and none of them other teams, Arizona Cardinals and whatever was Houston, Texas. He played in Houston or somewhere. I never heard of him. So, so that says a lot. And most people haven't heard of him. So now he's with somebody who's larger than life, because that's what she is. Simone is larger than life, and now he got to share that spotlight, and that's something that he's gonna have to realize. Remember, he proposed to her, so why is he hollering about he the catch? Now that I'm thinking about it, hey, is he talking about he the catch, y'all, when he the one proposed to her? He proposed to Simone, but he hollering about he the catch. Dude, come on, think about what you saying. You was smart enough to make it that far to get into the NFL, and still, you're still good enough to go to different teams and everything. Use your brain before you get on the internet and get to talking and sounding foolish. You seen the guys in the interview, they was looking at him. One of the guys was looking at him and turning his face up like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So I'm gonna play it again for anybody that didn't get to see it. I'm gonna play that part again. He was turning his face up like, are you serious? Like, for real? You thinking you better than Simone?
Simone Biles' husband is a walking red flag.
I always say we the men that catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did though.
Is what you're saying.
Cause I was fighting it. I was fighting it.
This man got into a relationship with Simone Biles, and he's acting like she's the one who should be lucky.
How in the hell did you pull Simone Biles? How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's really how she pulled me, man. That's the question. He pops up, and I'm like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so I didn't know who she was at the time. But like the first thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she got to be good. I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and
I just don't believe that he didn't know who Simone Biles was.
Okay, so y'all heard him, and you see the one guy, he was turned up his face like, you ain't never heard of her. So stop the cap. Just wait until the Olympics. He hasn't seen her exactly. He ain't seen her star power and have the people just gonna be all in her face and loving her and supporting her and wanting pictures with her and wanting autographs. Some men can't take that type of stuff. Some men don't know how to, let their woman be the forefront of the attention and just be the loving and supporting husband. Every man ain't built for that. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of stars, i.e. Toni Braxton. Remember, she was married to that guy in mint condition. Their marriage didn't last but a hop, skip, and a jump. And Toni Braxton was larger than life at the time. And her husband, he was a singer, and he played the guitar in mint condition. I remember Carrie somebody, I can't think of his last name. But, Toni was larger than life. A lot of men can't stand behind the woman and let her shine, i.e. Remy Ma. Her husband is a good example of one of them men that can stay behind her and support her and let her shine. Okay, he doesn't strike me as the kind of man that's ever had a problem with. Okay, honey, he stayed and waited for her while she went to prison. You see what I'm saying? And waited for her. And when she got out, she started shining again. I like Remy Ma, y'all. I like Remy Ma despite of the stuff that they've been going through. I still like Remy Ma. He didn't mind letting his woman having the spotlight, and he stood behind her and supported her. That's what it's about. Who's some other ones that stood behind a woman and let them shine? It's a bunch of them out there. But when you in a relationship, Stevie J, he ain't one of them. He couldn't handle Faith Evans' spotlight. Faith Evans, she's still a star, honey. She's still a star. I still love Faith Evans and her music. Stevie J, as you can see, he was one of them men that he thought he was the prize as well, and still out there acting a fool in the streets and allegedly and cheating on her. Yeah, exactly. I love them together too, and cheating on her. So that's the reason why their relationship didn't work out, because he's still thinking he the star, he the prize. Dude, will you stop it and grow up? So it's a lot of men that we see out here in Hollywood that can't accept a woman being at the forefront and that she's the star, she's the prize, and there's nothing wrong with that. People love these individuals, i.e. Oprah's larger than life. Let's just be honest about it. Let's be real. Stedman ain't never complained a day in his life. Why? Because he know he was with a boss. Why? Because he knew who he was as a man. Why? Because she was taking care of him. They say he was successful before Oprah, but he built his empire from being with this very powerful woman, and he showed her the love and respect and let her shine. We never heard about Stedman. We never heard about him getting jealous or mad about anything. He knew his lane. He knew his purpose. He knew what he was there for, and he was there to love and support. Oh yeah, that's another one. Angela Bassett's husband. Exactly. He's a star too in his own right. But baby, Angela Bassett, okay? We know Angela Bassett for many, many of things. I love Angela Bassett too. And her husband, he let her shine. He didn't say, oh, I'm a star too, I deserve some recognition. He didn't say none of that. He allowed that queen to be the queen that she is. And that's what it's about, allowing that individual to shine. Best believe if he was a quarterback, Simone Biles' husband, I forgot his name already, Jonathan something. Best believe if he was a well-known quarterback out there like what's his name? Was it Brett Favre? They used to be. He's retired now. But best believe if he was a quarterback out there in the NFL and he was shining, I don't think Simone would have a problem with it. But he can't handle that. He can't handle that. That ego is what's gonna be the break of his behind. Is that ego? He need to humble himself real quick. So that's all I'm saying is that he's allowing his ego to step in the way, and he need to sit down and talk with some of them grown men that he was talking to or being interviewed with on that panel. It would help him to get around some grown, educated, experienced men, experienced husbands. Tom Brady, experienced husbands that can talk to him and be like, bro, what you doing is you taking a spotlight. You sounded like a hater. You're looking like a hater, allegedly, and just give him some real life factual information and examples and show him that how you thinking ain't how you moving no marriage. That's what he need. He needs some great role models in his life to show him and tell him some stuff. So number one, his marriage is going to be long lasting. And then number two, he quit making himself look foolish out here, y'all. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here and talk about Simone Biles. I think she's a very lovely young lady. I'm proud of her as a young Black African-American woman making headlines and making history on top of that. And, I want for her husband to, acknowledge her power and let her stand in her power in grace and peace without you sitting here running your mouth and talking about, well, you the prize. Let her stand in her grace and her glory, all 10 toes down, and let her, receive her accolades, all her accolades in peace without you standing in the corner side eye and looking and wondering why she's getting all of that. Because she has a heart of gold. People love her. People are drawn to that type of energy, so her energy is obviously on point, and then them skills are unmatched. Okay, so that's the reason why, in case he's wondering, because of who she is. Simone Biles, again, perfection at its best. We've seen it, perfection at its best. So in case he's wondering, then he don't have to figure it out no more, and he can go on and walk side by side beside this woman instead of trying to walk 10 steps ahead of her. This ain't 1985. This ain't 1945. This ain't 1913. It's about being equal and loving and supporting each other. But with that being said, y'all, I am gonna let y'all go. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Keep It Real. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll probably see you all back soon, a little later, with another video. Thank you. See you soon.